Hello, my name is Allison Kennedy, and I am going to show you today how to troubleshoot some data source errors in Power Query when you're changing the data source. So what I've got here is a report that I built a few weeks ago for the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. And I'm sitting here watching wheelchair rugby and wanting to update this now for the Paralympics. So if we have a look at the data source settings, we'll be able to see where that data is coming from. So it's coming from Olympics.com, the Olympic Games medal results table. So that table looks a little bit something like this. So you can see that it's got rank, team, NOC, 1, 2, 3, total, and rank by total. I want to get the Paralympic results, and the first medals have already been earned. So the medal counts are coming through thick and fast. I need to get my report up and running. So what I need to do is I need to take this Olympic Games URL and I need to replace that with the Paralympic Games URL. So I'm going to copy this URL and go back to my Power BI report. Now, ordinarily, you might see a change source option in here. That would be the best and quickest way to change the data source for the entire report. That's going to update it across all of your queries that are using that specific data source. Unfortunately, I've had to tweak this source a little bit, as I've explained in previous blog posts, in order for it to be able to refresh automatically on the web. So I don't have that change source option. So I need to go into transform data. This will open up a Power Query, and I'm going to have to update the source step manually. So what I've got here are 3 tables. I am going to start by updating the Tokyo 2020 medal standings table, and as I said, I need to go to the source step and update that source step. So you can see here is the URL from the Olympic Games. I am going to get rid of that and I'm going to put in the new URL for the Paralympic Games. Alright, so you can see that that file seems to be working. I'm going to come down and check that my query is happy, and there's an error. This is one of the most common data source errors you see, particularly if you're working with unstructured data like Excel files, where people can accidentally go in there and change the name of the columns, not realizing what impact that's going to have further on down the line in the report. So I have this error message that says team NOC is not found. We knew that. It's got a slightly different name in the Paralympic Games table. So I'm going to click go to error, and you'll see that I still have the same error message. Super helpful, right? Well, in the View tab, you have a tick box to turn on the formula bar, and that formula bar shows you why we might be getting that error message. In the M code, it's looking for a column called Team NOC, and that column does not exist. So the way I handle my errors, whenever I'm getting an error in the query, I click on Go to Error. That takes me to the first step that results in an error, and I select the step above that to see where the query was at before the error started. So now I can see, right, it's not Team NOC, it's called Team NPC. So I've got 2 options. The easiest one, if you're not familiar with M code and the formula bar, would be to just change this column here to match what it used to be. So it was looking for Team NOC. I'm going to change that to Team NOC. And now I will fix my query. Nope, it was looking for Team NOC code. So we'll do that again. Go to error. The column NOC code of the table was not found, so I'm going to copy that bit of information. We'll come back here, and that's called NPC code, so I need to replace that with NOC code. Okay. I'll insert that step and go back to my query, and it's now happy, it's been fixed. So now we've got the team code, the medal type, and the medal count. So like I said, that might be the easiest way if you're not familiar with the M code and editing the formula bars. But you'll see I've now got two renamed column steps. So I've renamed the team NPC to team NOC, and then I've renamed team NOC to team. So we've gone from team NPC, team NOC, to team. There's an extra step in there that isn't needed. So I'm going to delete this renamed columns 1 step that I've just put in to fix the query and show you a slightly more efficient way to fix your results. Because I already have this renamed columns step in here, it's looking for team NOC and that's not found. We'll go to the previous step. It's called team NPC. We've already turned on our formula bar, so now I just need to change the NOC to the NPC. Hit enter. My error message now updates and says the column NOC code is not found. So again, go back to the previous step, scan for anything that looks like NOC code. Here it is, it's called NPC code. We'll come back down here and I'll fix that step and say let's rename NPC code to team code. Now my query is happy. I can go down to the bottom of it and confirm that everything is looking good. Now I've started with my main table, and again what we'll do is we'll have a look at the data source settings. Now if you've updated this correctly, you'll only see the one data source. So what that tells me is that these two queries are referencing this one. I don't need to go into their source step and change anything. If I still saw the Olympic Games source and the Paralympic Games source in here, that would indicate to me that I'm not quite done with my work. I'd have to close out of here and go check the additional queries and check their source step and do the same update that we did before, changing the source file name or URL or whatever that data source might be referencing. Alright, so now when I close and apply, this is going to update all of the data in this report, and it's going to replace all of these Olympic medals figures automatically with the current Paralympic figures. And I won't have to do anything to the report to update it. It's automatically going to pull through the data for the Paralympics, and now I've got 2 reports for the price of 1. Voila. I'm going to be keeping an eye out for Australia this Olympic Games. They're doing fantastic already. They've got a couple of people competing over there that are part of the MVP community. Matthew Levy is one of them. He'll be competing this week on Saturday. So keep your eye on the Olympics and the Paralympics and enjoy.